Hey guys, it's Ben coming to you on a Sunday afternoon. It's gorgeous outside. Last night, I went on to Adam Post's channel and had an awesome interview with him. Adam is a very nice guy, very generous, and he's very knowledgeable. He knows way more about the comic book stuff than I do. I felt like, I felt kind of bad because it was like half the time he was talking, some of it was going like right over my head, and I was just kind of pretending like, yeah, of course. um, but that was a fun interview. It should be up on Adam's channel right now if you haven't checked it out yet. Awesome stuff. As y'all know, Outlaw Nights is coming out to Indiegogo on Tuesday. And good buddy Archangel there at Arch City Comics is helping throw us a little launch party stream. So that's gonna be fun. So everybody should check that out. That's gonna be a blast. I'm not going to be drinking, sadly. I'm a recovering alcoholic, so I can't drink, but, I'll do other things I'm not going to talk about. So anyway, I've been having a little fun, paying attention to the latest stuff, particularly with the release of Cyberfrog. I'm still waiting on mine. I haven't gotten mine yet. Should be in the mail. I think I backed, it was either his first or his second campaign. I can't even remember. But it was way back when. And just as predicted, every nut job and their friend is going out using BS little photos and little snippets and trying to find flaws in Cyberfrog that, it's like we all knew this was gonna happen. We all knew that the second that it came out that we're gonna be lunatics coming out of the woodwork looking for a reason to dog on it. And I said it before, I'll say it again. Doesn't matter what kind of effort you put into it. You could put, you could make this the most perfect book that has ever come out. They would still look for something, anything to blow out of proportion. Spite. Lots of spite, lots of revenge. Why? Because they're all butthurt that their comics got insulted by guys like Zach and by Ethan and all. And so naturally, they want payback. And of course they can't exact it while being intellectually honest with themselves. But that doesn't matter anymore because the internet has created the era of, you just gotta read one headline, just gotta see one person post something and bam. Next thing you know, everybody treats that like it's the gospel truth. Oh. Disgusting. But it's funny and pathetic at the same time. It's like seeing, just seeing the grasping for straws is just so great. And it's like, I'm sorry, Anti-Comics Gate, you guys have no leg to stand on with any of this. You have no leg to stand on. You sat there and you defended books like Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl had the most disgusting, lazy slipshod drawing I've seen in, and to put Marvel on that was embarrassing. Okay? You guys defend books like Black as Fuck and all that. These books with notoriously poor slipshod artwork. Notoriously lazy writing. Like, there's no way around that. It's lazy. You can't sit there and try to... You're just not smart enough to understand the subtext or whatever. Yeah, I understand subtext perfectly, thank you. I look for subtext in pretty much everything I read. The subtext in SJW books is so on the nose and so blatant and so obviously biased that it completely takes me out of the book. Okay, like I can't continue on giving a crap about these characters because the author's hand has been shown. Like, that's the point. Most of the time, you know, every author who writes something has opinions on how the world works and all. And yeah, it does kind of bleed over into their work. But a good writer makes it subtle and leaves room for other interpretation. It's like you know, my absolute favorite author of all time, J.R.R. Tolkien. He's talking about allegory and how he just despises it, and how he essentially, it's that he does not like he didn't like the I can't quote it verbatim. It was a gorgeous quote. It's readily available on the internet. But it worked along the lines of, you know, he talked about essentially like, I'm not, you know, people ask, let me put it this way. J.R.R. Tolkien, like throughout his life, was approached by people who had all these theories about who this person represented, who that person represented. The War of the Ring, what did that represent? And, you know, and I think there were popular theories around, like, I think there was one like Saruman represents Hitler in the rise of the Third Reich. Yeah, there were things like, I think one that's big that I think my mom loves to go to, which I always kind of lovingly, gently try to correct her on it, but she tries to, it's the whole concept that Frodo, representative of Jesus, which in many ways, yeah, like you can see a lot of the connections there in terms of like when Jesus started and when Frodo started and ended his journey, when Jesus started and ended his ministry, the nature of, you know, the long drawn out suffering leading to something redemptive for humanity, blah, blah, blah. All that kind of works, but at the same time, it bugged Tolkien when people did this, and he finally told him, he's like, look, I wrote this to be a history. I wrote this to be a history of a unique little fantasy world, a prehistory for Britain, a mythology, and it's not meant to represent anything. I wrote these characters, and the idea is like, you are free to interpret them how you see them. But if you're asking me if I have a direct correlation between what this character means or what this event means, the answer is no, I don't have a direct correlation for those. It's open for you to make those connections. That is a good writer. That is how you reach a wide audience. You're not heavy-handedly trying to indoctrinate somebody into your way of thinking. You're showing people how you think, and you're offering them the opportunity to sort of co-author the story in their mind by connecting it to things that they see in it. That's how you tell a good story. And it also helps if you don't directly demonize 50 to 60% of your audience. That tends to help. So, you know, just, sorry. That was getting depressing for a second for me, just because, you know, it's like, it seems like the arts in general, along with politics, are devolving at a steady pace. There's going to be, you know, I like, part of why I like stuff like Comicsgate is because it feels like, you know, it's an attempt at a Renaissance movement. You know what I mean? It's an attempt at bringing back things that worked from the past and building on that. I can tell you that Outlaw Nights is not is not a cookie cutter story in that it's not like old comics. I would argue that, you know, the themes in Outlaw Nights are pretty dark. You know, there's a bit of postmodernism in there, but at the same time, it's buoyed by a little bit of old fashioned kind of romanticism slapped on with some of that 90s style. So it's not, you know, it's not this hopeless, dreary slog. Sorry, that feels like a bit of an aside. My mind tends to wander a bit, but there's connections between it all. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me for another weird video. Remember, Outlaw Nights coming out. Let's see, tomorrow night at midnight is when Outlaw Nights is coming out. It's exciting. It's intimidating, but it's exciting. I hope you guys will join me there, and I'm gonna make another video tomorrow, kicking off Outlaw Nights Eve. Maybe talking a little bit, about the backstory. I fleshed out a little bit of it in my interview with Adam last night, so you may want to check that out. As always, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you like anything I have to say, or heck, you know, even if you don't like anything I have to say, for whatever reason you're like these internet lunatics and you just like to obsess over people that you hate and like follow them, yeah, go ahead, subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You know, seems kind of silly to say that at this point, but you know. And as always, I will talk to you tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys.